With the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct in less than a week, I think we should focus on what exclusives are going to be brought back and what Mario Kart 9 is going to have. Because let's be real here, nobody cares about the console. It's the same thing we've had for 8 years. And of course, every other Mario Kart game past Double Dash is going to have some retro tracks. The only problem with this is that there are 96 courses in the last game, and most of those are retro tracks. Not only does that mean that this game will need to have a ton of courses to be successful on launch, it also means that there's not a lot of options to choose for.
But we're not eating it all. Just know that, because we gotta save some.
Yeah.
Save.
Now, before I get into predicting the tracks, I do want to go over a few things. One of those being that I don't think that there's going to be 24 players at all times. Yes, I see that there's clearly more than 12 people, but look at this map. Who wants to play on that? I honestly feel like it's a tech demo like Mario 128, where they're just trying to show off the power of the new console by showing how many things can be on the screen at once. I feel like most of the maps aren't built for more than 12 players. I do think that they're going to make a 24 player mode or something, just not part of the main game. Starting off the Shell Cup, we got Toad Harbor, just because I think it's a fun map. It's easy, it kind of shows off anti-gravity. And it's basic, but it's not boring. There's no glider sections or water sections, which is why Daisy Hills and Koopa Troopa Beach are also in this cup. Daisy Hills was the first map in the series to really force you to use gliding. It also has that grassy kind of feel to it, which a Shell Cup track usually has. Now, Koopa Troopa Beach, on the other hand, also forces you to go in the water. Now, say if you're a new player that was playing retro tracks instead of the nitro tracks first, it would also introduce you to a slippery terrain. And with the beach theme and its low risk, it'd be pretty easy to get the hang of. And closing off the cup is N64 Banshee Boardwalk. Now, if the Switch 2 has amazing graphics, they better make this track look good for once in its lifetime. I'm sure that they could really make this like a tech demo almost. You know, they could have the lake and the darkness in the background. They could finally make these boos look normal for once, because even on the DS version, they don't look too good. Now, the first track in the Banana Cup is going to be MK Wii Mario Circuit, unfortunately, but this is an accurate prediction, okay? Nintendo always puts some type of Mario Circuit, and this is the oldest one that hasn't been remade. You know, I wonder why. Next up is GBA Yoshi Desert, a map people probably aren't gonna like because it's a desert map. Desert maps are inherently bad because we suck at them. And listen, in 2013 when I was 6 years old, you know, I wasn't too good at Sherbert Land or Shy Guy Beach, but you know, I don't carry that hatred with me. And you know, people always say a game has a token desert map. This is gonna be the token desert map. It hasn't been remade. There's a good chance. Next up is Swamp Ruins. It's a pretty good map. It shows off anti-gravity well. It kind of fits the theming of the cup, as well as Dino Jungle, one of the best maps from Double Dash. Definitely going to be one of the tracks that closes out a cup. It's a little bit more challenging, which makes it fitting to close out the cup, and it's really fun to play on. Neither of the Vanilla Lake tracks have been remade, and for a good reason. They were so bad on the SNES. The map design is basic, these ice packs on the ground are super hard to see, but it's 2025, believe it or not, but we have three-dimensional video games. Like, look at this custom track. Look how much better it looks. You can even go under the water like in Rosalina's Ice World. It looks great. And Vanilla Lake 1, it's out of the question. There's no way it's getting remade. It looks like a vanilla puddle. Toad's Factory. Now, this is a complete shoe, and there is no way this is not getting remade. It's always been the most 9/11 was bad take that Toad's Factory is definitely going to be in Mario Kart 10. It's a pretty good map. Sorry I'm throwing around the F word here, but it's a fan favorite. GBA Cheap Island. This is another track that hasn't been remade. And you know, Nintendo's been really good at making these SNES tracks and GBA tracks. And you know, Nintendo did a pretty good job remaking GBA tracks on Mario Kart 8. And people still look at GBA tracks, but no, they want their fan favorites like Airship Fortress and Waluigi Pinball. You know, they could do so much better than they did on a handheld console from 25 years ago. Like, do you know how much has happened since Mario Kart Super Circuit dropped?
9/11.
Shy Guy Bazaar. This is one of the best tracks in the whole series. It has a little nighttime theme to close out the cup. It's a great track in general. Super high quality. I'm sure it's gonna be remade. Another token desert map, Agent 3 fan? You can't do this to me. This is one of the only tracks from the Wii that has a chance of being remade. And this is a really good map. I feel like it should start the Lightning Cup because it started the Crown Cup in Mario Kart Wii. You know, usually when tracks get remade, they kind of parallel with their old game. Next up is GCN Mushroom City, which is like a traffic map and a split path map. Next up is DS Bowser's Castle, and darest I say, it deserves to be remade more than GCN Bowser Castle. And no, it's not because I already put a GCN track in this cup. It just has a lot of stage elements and stage hazards that would be really fun to see expanded upon in a new game. It just has more potential in general. And the last track closing out the Lightning Cup is, of course, GBA Rainbow Road. In Mario Kart 7, they remade SNES Rainbow Road. In Mario Kart 8, they remade N64 Rainbow Road. This is only continuing the pattern. On top of that, this map looks great. It looks like a ton of fun. I'd definitely love to see this get remade with 3D textures. I've seen it been remade on Mario Kart Wii. It looks like it would be a ton of fun. Like I said at the beginning of the video, there will be some maps that support 24 players. Now this is N64 Wario Stadium's Time to Shine. This map is probably the worst map ever. It's never been remade. It's too open. It's too long. But you know, now they could just make the lap count too. They could just add 24 players and it'd be a great map. Probably. I don't know. Electrodrome, another mid map in my opinion. This map just feels like it's too open. It doesn't really get the feel that it's going for, but with 24 players, it will definitely feel like it's like an actual rave, like an actual party that you're going to. Airship Fortress. This would be one of the best maps to play on 24 players. There's already some spaces where it's kind of open, so it'd be perfect for filling those hazards in. I also feel like this map would be so much more fun on the new console. Now closing out the Mega Mushroom Cup instead of Airship Fortress is Woohoo Island. And since it's the first map in the series to have 3 different parts, I think it'd be super cool if they put 8 players at each one of the lap counts. That would kind of give it the leverage it needs to close out a cup, you know? Now starting off, the Galaxy Cup is gonna be Wario Coliseum from the GameCube. Wario Coliseum is that one map that was too big for any other game, and I completely see why. I mean, look at the mini map. This map is massive. You know what's crazy? This map would be perfect for 24 players, and it has been remade. It's totally getting remade in Mario Kart 10. Now next up is Lakeside Park. Nintendo could definitely do some crazy stuff with this map. It's pretty big, it's pretty open, it could definitely fit 24 players. I've seen a lot of custom tracks based on this map. It definitely could have a lot more verticality. The atmosphere of the map feels like it would be good for 24 players, and this map hasn't been remade, so I think it's perfect for being in Mario Kart 10. Next up, we got SNES and Bowser's Castle 2. It is kind of simple, but you wouldn't really want to have the difficulty a 12-player map would have. It definitely has a lot of potential seeing how Nintendo handled the Bowser's Castle 3 remake. In closing off the Galaxy map, we got a surprise. It's Piranha Plant Pipeline. Maybe not a surprise, but this was definitely coming. For those of you guys who don't know, Piranha Plant Pipeline was the one tour track that did not make it in the Booster Course Pass, even though it looks great. Now, I think they were holding on to this map because the pipes seem like they'd get a little lonely if it was just you and like one other person. If it was you and 3 other people, it'd be perfect. And it's going to be the only tour track that's in this game because all of the tour tracks were in the Booster Course Pass, and I can't include those in this list. Now starting off the Gift Cup, which I think is going to be the first DLC cup, is Luigi Circuit on the Game Boy Advance. I think it could be a difficult track with its slippery layout, and it's going to look great. The next cup in this track is going to be DK Pass. This is a great map. I feel like it has a lot of potential to be remade, but it doesn't really have the difficulty that a lot of the tracks that in the Lightning Cup and the Leaf Cup have. I think this is also the only snowing map that I've put on this list, and I feel like Nintendo wants to put a snowing map in the game to show off the new graphics, of course, just like with the rating maps. Next up, we got Shy Guy Falls, one of the greats from Mario Kart 8. Definitely plays on the anti-gravity mechanics a lot, and it looks amazing. And compared to the other Wii U tracks that I chose for this list, I feel like Shy Guy Falls definitely belongs in this game. And the last track in the Gift Cup is going to be Wario Fortress, dare I say, better than Airship Fortress. I mean, this map has a lot going on. It's super fun. It definitely has a high potential to be remade. And I didn't really include a lot of other underwater tracks in this list, so it definitely has a higher potential in that sense. Now for the Feather Cup, we got Super Bell Subway. I feel like this represents the Wii U and Switch era of Mario Kart so well. It kind of represents that travel theme that they had going on. It also fits in with the DLC Cup difficulty that we saw in Mario Kart 8. So I feel like this track has a high potential. The next track on this list is Choco Island 2. Yes, I know that this is the first SNES track I've put in this list. Yes, I know that this is a universally hated track. Yes, my name is Kyle Butler. Yes, I make homeless shelters. I feel like this map has potential to look good with Switch 2 graphics. Cause it's always looked like a poop wasteland, almost, when it's supposed to look like chocolate. And it has the difficulty that a DLC track usually has with the mud and these slopes that you could jump off of. I think it could be really fun. And next we got Bowser's Castle 4 from Super Circuit. This was one of the coolest Bowser's Castles. It has a ton of content. It'd be so much fun to see this on a new console with 3D graphics. It would really benefit from a remake because it doesn't really shine on the GBA where it's really hard to see what is going on. I definitely feel like this track could be remade. It has DLC difficulty. It's the only GBA Bowser's Castle that they've made since Mario Kart 7. It definitely has a super high potential. And of course, the last track in the game is gonna be the one and only, The Road That You Go, GCN Rainbow Road. GCN Rainbow Road is a masterpiece. It's amazing that it wasn't remade in the Booster Course Pass. Yes, I know what I said earlier about how games tend to remake the Rainbow Roads in order, but Torque kind of acts as Mario Kart 9, so this is kind of to rebalance that. I also feel like this is just a perfect map to end the game on, or at least the retro tracks, assuming that they don't make a DLC in the future. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to go check out my Mario Kart 8 rankings, or you could subscribe for future Mario Kart videos. I just bought some component cables for my Wii, so I will be making more videos very soon.